Welcome back, my horde. Um, yeah, as you can see, it's just me. Uh, this is a Tuesday. Again, cutting it close. It's like 1:15 in the morning. Tammy had to go to bed, of course, to go to work. So, and with the whole lockdown-esque thing, and Chris being sick and shit like that, grouping up is not easy. So, I was supposed to be recording streaming something on freaking Twitch, but with Cyberpunk coming out tomorrow, I didn't want to get into a game. The problem is the fact that what game do I play? It has to be a game that either I can just quickly play or a game that, I can beat. And as I was looking through all the games I own, there's a lot of them that kind of go into that category, but kind of don't. And it's just like, I couldn't think of a freaking game to play. So I think I'm going to be doing is recording this and then recording the RimWorld that I missed on Sunday because I was recording that and got upset. And then after that is done, I'll just go and... Oh man, I got something in my throat. Hold on for a second. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I just had a piece of dinner because my throat was dry. I had a piece of dinner just hanging out there. I'm like, ugh, please go away. But yeah, I was thinking about playing Far Cry 5 because I'm trying to get the last bit of achievements for that game. But playing it on the hardest difficulty is what I have to do. And I think, what was the other achievement for that one? Pretty sure it was something dealing with one of the DLCs. Yeah, apparently I'm missing 3 achievements for that game. 2 of them deal with the DLC, and the other one is beating it on a New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty. And I was working on that one. I was also thinking about playing the Walking Dead Telltale Complete series. Not a lot of gamer score there. It's 1,000, but for, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 or 5 games. For sure. I was just thinking about playing Minecraft Dungeons again, which I was just playing by myself and with Tammy and Jay and Chris, but I was like, I don't really know if I want to play again. Because, right now I'm just grinding, and there's nothing really to grind at this moment, except for 1 level. So I'm not quite sure if I want to do that. So I was a bunch of those little things that were going on. But tomorrow, / today, because you guys are going to be watching this, at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk. I'm actually going to be talking to Tammy about letting me play it while she's up. She won't really mind. She's pretty cool when it comes to stuff like that. It's just, hey Tammy, are you okay with me playing Cyberpunk at 9 instead of 11:30? I just asked her because she's watching this right now. Well, not right now, not as I record it, but at 11 when it goes out, she watches it on our lunch. So I can say a lot of crazy things to her. And then she just comments back, oh, that was my neck. She got me an Elgato. Took me almost 2 hours to realize that I had... actually, it took me almost an hour to realize I had chords in backwards. And then it took me almost 2 hours to realize that the Elgato wanted to be on a higher rating than my computer could even fucking understand. There's an input and output. With my old one, your input goes, you put the input from your TV, your device, so the Xbox, into the video, or the capture card, which was just a, I guess capture device, not card, but, and then you put that to your computer. This one has a input, where you bring from your Xbox to it, the Elgato. And then you have another HDMI that you stick in there and then put that to your TV. And then you stick a USB, a special USB. I think it's a USB-A to a USB normal. You put that. Or maybe it's a C. I don't know. It was really confusing. I don't know what an A is, actually. But anyway, you stick that into it. And then you put that into the computer. So I messed that up. And then finally, when I figured that out and everything was going good, when I started streaming, my stream was just shit. It was just like errors or poor quality. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So finally, I ended my stream and checking out some stuff. It was trying to stream at 1,900 by 1,000. Seriously, what the fuck? My computer was like, what is this? Black magic? My computer can do 1080 by, 720 or whatever it is? And it's fine. But, once you start going into, freaking those numbers, my computer's just like, what is going on? So finally I figured that out. So, now I can actually, when I stream, I can actually have audio. My old device didn't register audio. So I had to have my mic going. I'm supposed to get a new mic soon. I'm hoping that it drowns out more background noise. The idea is to have it where Tammy's not running off my mic if I don't want her to. Though I could just use my Skull Candy, which is my headset. But, we'll see. I think I have to actually replug in my mic anyway. I think it needs to be... I have to do a couple test runs before I actually record. Because I need to plug it into maybe the actual computer. Right now it's in a USB hub, which seems to be running everything well, but I was told that my stream sounded a little weird, but that could have been just Tammy's stream. Because the guy was talking on Tammy's stream, and I think her new headset that we got her, it's actually playing her mic even when her mic's not up. She needs to actually have it up. Because I think it's, even though she's muted, it's still processing her mic. So, I'll talk to her about that. Well, hey, Tammy, you have to have your mic up. It should be fine then. That's your mute button. So, yeah, there's that. I got myself a gaming chair. Well, Tammy got me one. See, that's the thing. Because I don't have a job. Argumentatively, the money that Tammy gets has always been our money. So, when I did have a job and we were never really together fully. I quit my job. And Tammy decided to take care of me at that point. This was I don't know, pretty early on our relationship. And then we were talking about, doing other things and stuff like that. And Tammy was pretty cool with me not having a job for quite a bit of it. So, can you kittens please not? Thanks. Pumpkin, can you actually come here, man? Come here. Okay, actually, Nico. Which one of you wants to come here and get cuddles? Here, Nico, you come here and get cuddles. You wanted cuddles earlier. The problem was that you kept standing on my desk. And I didn't like that. Anyway. So, whenever I get money, usually from, GST or whatever, it's our money. It's never just mine. And, yeah. With that being said, it's still in her account and stuff like that, but she got me a gaming chair. We got me a gaming chair. Let's go with that. It's pretty nice. It's actually a computer chair. It's not a high-end gaming chair by any means. It's $100 and something bucks. So a little expensive, for the average thing, but man, does it ever make things better. It's got less squeak to it. Like, I'm moving around, you can't hear the squeaks. So that's great. And then on top of that, I feel like I'm sitting up more. So my back is hurting a little bit less. Not as crouched over all the time. So that's always pretty good. And yeah, I like the little swivel of it. I look at Tammy and talk to her, and then I look back at my screen. So it's pretty cool. What else? I'm trying to think of anything else that actually is going to be like happening or anything like that. I'm not sure. But if you guys want to watch me stream Cyberpunk, I'll be streaming Cyberpunk Wednesdays and Thursdays at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time most Wednesdays and Thursdays. Fridays and Saturdays, I'll be streaming with Tammy at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be streaming Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Mondays and Tuesdays. We are supposed to be streaming with the guys. I stream with them on Monday and Tuesday at 11:30 onwards. And Tammy on Tuesday will start early at 7. However, that can change because right now, despite the fact that Chris is not doing his treatment anymore, he's still, I guess, feeling not so good. So, I don't know. He hasn't really talked to me much. So, but he, if you don't know, Chris has, had, I guess it's the correct terms, had testicular cancer. He got that fixed, but now he's got somewhere else has a flare-up of something. So they were actually going to put him in, because it's actually like inside him somewhere. I don't know exactly the location, that's why I'm saying somewhere. Because if it's actually like inside him, they were just going to go for chemo. But I guess Chris has like hereditary hearing loss. And I guess chemo can actually make you partially deaf. However, if you have hearing problems already, it can actually make you permanently deaf. So they have stopped putting him on those treatments and are going to be flying him to one of the major cities nearby. Or driving him. I'm not quite sure what the actual transportation will be. I don't know if they're going to have to put him on a rickshaw, But anyway, then they're going to, do surgery. So that will be interesting, to say the least. But yeah. What else? Trying to get back into on Mondays. You guys will never even know this, but I'm just talking out loud. Mondays, me, Chris, Jay, Tammy, and Chris's wife, we roleplay, like paper and dice. We're playing GURPS, the system GURPS right now. Chris isn't playing, obviously. Yeah, he has a character, but we have kind of just let his character stand around and go, yep. But I'm trying to talk to them about maybe doing another campaign afterwards where I could start working on it, or someone else could start working on it, or something like that. There's 3 things I brought up. So far it's looking like the one, but sadly, some of the group is doing what they sometimes do and just not answer me. I'm not quite sure sometimes why. I feel like sometimes it's like, you know, people just like see it, go, oh, I'll answer later, and then totally forget. And then other times it's like they see it and go, like, especially with role playing, they see it and go, well, why do I care? We're playing this system right now. I don't want to look into the future. And then they'll just like not answer me. But the problem is that I'm trying to get things like set up and planned and stuff like that. Like if I'm jamming, I want to actually make a like detailed campaign. But a lot of people also hate detailed campaigns. It's just, sadly, a lot of people are not into gaming as hard as I am. Like I have a character, like last 2 or 3 characters I've built, I've really gone hard on like what their motives are, what their backstory is, and stuff like that. And then I get like it to the table and everything like that. I give it to the GM. The GM looks over and goes, yeah, and just hands it back to me. I'm like, did you read any of that? I read some of it. Okay, that sucks. And you have no problems with any of that? No. Do I get anything special for any of that? No. Well, okay, that's fair. Whatever. And then, you know, people start playing and then like, I'm like, so, I'm, you know, blah, you know, house blah, 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 blah. And people are like, yeah, I have a first name. I'm like, oh, okay. So you don't have a last name? Nope. Oh, okay. What are your characters like hopes and dreams? Figure out when I get there. Okay. Okay, so do you have any like short term? Nope. Okay. Any quirks? Nope. Okay. Okay. So we play. What do you guys do? I look for the next adventure. But I would like to talk to like the villagers in our village and see like, you know, which ones I can become friends with and like, you know, see if I can like make connections and contacts. No. I don't want to do any of that stuff. Robert, just go. Oh, okay. I know. It's all just my voice, so you don't know what the hell I'm saying. But it's just, I don't mind role playing. Like I don't mind actually sitting there and just like pretending like I'm my character, going, "Oh, good day, sir." Like I'm not going to do a voice, you know, for every character. But the point of being is the fact like I don't mind pretending to be the character, trying to talk to people, trying to actually like, you know, get contacts, get a relationship, get all this stuff. But everyone else kind of just wants to see a monster, beat up a monster, move to the next monster. So more dungeon crawling-esque. It's like, well, this sucks. I don't want to dungeon crawl. Or like, I want to have like, you know, certain things. Like I would love to have, you know, a magical weapon or like, you know, something, you know, like a magical weapon that, you know, it's unique. Like, you know, it's something cool. Like have like, you know, a sword that's like a legendary sword or something. But it's just, no. And like I was talking to Jay today about some stuff because he's our current GM. And I was talking to him about some stuff where I'm like, okay, so like I'm thinking about doing this with my character and doing this with my character and doing this with my character. Would I get anything bonus for that? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, okay. He's like, well, maybe I'll let you like, you know, spend the points into this. I'm like, well, so I have to spend points. So I don't get anything free. And in fact, I'm now coming up with a reason why I'm getting a skill that no one else has to actually explain why they're getting. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, the problem is just like, you know, Jason's argument is the problem is that, you know, he doesn't want to give me something and not give everyone else something. I'm like, fair. I get that. However, my problem is the fact that I come up with all this cool stuff I want to do and like, you know, which should give me something, and you ask people also who, you know, like this is not just this group. Like just for the record, I've had this problem for fucking years. But it's like I come up with like this cool idea. I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and this. They're like, okay. I'm like, it should get me points, right? They're like, no. I'm I'm like, oh, why not? Because it's unfair for everyone else. I'm like, oh, but they can do the same thing, couldn't they? Yep. But they're not. Correct. So because they're not doing the same thing, I'm not getting points? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. That's what it always has felt. It's like, and like even Jay was saying, like, if you can think of something where everyone gets points from the event, then I'll do that. I'll give you everyone points. I'm like, yeah, but the problem is then I'm doing more work to get everybody points. But then I'm not getting anything bonus for it. So where's the incentive of me keep doing this? I'm just giving everyone else points, and they're just doing nothing. Like, so it's always been a problem for me. Like, I've had different GMs, the same problem, where I'm like, I want to do this. They're like, okay. Like, I want to be trained by this legendary sword master. Okay, cool. Yeah, like you guys found him. You can definitely be trained by him. I'm like, cool. How long will that take? And they're like, it's gonna take 6 months. I'm like, okay. They're like, yeah. I'm like, so 6 months later, you're like, yeah. I'm like, do I get points for that? Or like, no. No, I don't get points for it. No. But I'll allow you to take an extra point into melee. Like, so I get it for free? No. No. You have to spend the points, though. So then... what the fuck was the point? Like, languages is another good example. Language is a very good example. The one GM I worked under, we were playing White Wolf a lot. And the whole thing was like, okay, well, I'm going to be spending time with these people, and I'm going to be learning languages. Okay. So I'm going to be learning lots, like all their languages. Okay. So what does that give me? The ability to learn the language. Oh, so I get it? No. You have to spend points in it still. Oh. Unless you have free slots available already. Because in White Wolf, you get, for 1 dot, you get 1 extra language. 2 dots, you get 2 extra languages. 3 dots, you get 4 extra languages. 4 dots, you get 8 extra languages. 5 dots, you get 16 extra languages. 6 dots, you get 32 extra languages. So, and so on and so forth. So, because of that, like, if you had 32 extra languages, but you only have 28 of them, then theoretically you have 4. I'm like, but I don't know. It's always been my issue. Or like, I don't think I ever have any character that has anything special. Like, outside of, I think, 3 characters of my entire grouping of characters I ever have. I think 3 of them have something special. And they were all yeah, I think they were all White Wolf characters. And they're not even like super special items. They're just like partially special items. All 3 of them, I think, have the exact same fucking thing. Which is a sword made of steel that you can only get from the Umbra. Which you can only go to if you have a special ability. So. And it's like dark steel. And it does huge amounts of extra damage to enemies. I'm like, this is pretty fucking cool. But, like, I've always, like, wondered, like, well, could I not have, like, magic put on the weapon? Or could I not have something else, like, in any other campaign? Like, it's just always been an issue for me that I see people talk about, like, this, character they have who's, like, 105, who's like, got all this cool stuff. He's, got this, and he's got this, and he's got a blessing from his god. And it's like all these cool fucking things. It's like, wow, that is fucking awesome. And then I've never had it. But, and then, yeah. And I think the other huge factor with certain gaming recently, the major two, is one, gaming recently, let's going with like the last couple of years, has always been very short. We can't game from 7 to 7 anymore. Can't game 12 hours. I would love to game 12 hours. I would love to. But it's not a thing that a lot of people can do anymore. So that always puts a huge damper on things too. Because if you can only game for, I think it's like, we can game for 4 hours. And while we're gaming for our 4 hours, basically you have to jam pack either a bunch of stuff together or don't. And that's basically what happens, is just nothing happens. Like, stuff progresses, but we don't really expand a lot. It's like a lot of jumping, a lot of, this happening, that happening. And it's not like it's anyone's fault. It's like, the two guys that I game with the most, work late nights and only have those 2 days off. So they could game later, but they have to game after that time. Like, when they wake up to whatever. But then Tammy has to go to bed early, and Erin, Chris's wife, has to go to bed relatively early. So, it's one of those problems. Though, yeah, I don't know. Just, it's always been an issue where, things don't line up properly. But anyway, going back to what I was actually originally going to state was, I was looking into maybe doing a Star Wars campaign, a D20 Star Wars campaign, or a White Wolf campaign with everybody, or having someone else GM, which is perfectly fine. But I want to have undead. I want to be like a necromancer, or a. If everyone wanted to be more towards good, I was going to be like a paladin, who actually could, who had skeletons and spirits and stuff like that, of like fallen soldiers, who, like, fighters and barbarians and shit like that, who were lawful good as well as I was, but wanted to come back to serve. And I wasn't forcing them back once they were, like, done their, like, done with their service. Like, if they wanted to leave, like, just, ask me, and or even not really ask, but just, like, state that they were leaving, and then they could just disappear. So, like, I was keeping them there only, not against their will, but I was keeping them there to help them. Shit like that. So I was either going to be like a paladin who did that, which I just don't know if people want me to be a paladin again. People were very pissed off about my last paladin, so. The problem was the fact that paladin, because, again, understanding the concept of how D&D works, which is where the major problems were. But as I understood how D&D works, being evil, like, because we had this huge discussion. It was a huge discussion at the time. It was a huge discussion after the time. It was a huge discussion for a bit afterwards, even then, and it still never really got resolved. But the problem was that everyone else was in consensus that, if you were evil, you had to have done evil things, like a fair bit of evil things, to become evil. It's not just a one and done. You have to do a bunch of things to become evil. However, you're also in the concept mind that you weren't evil until you did something evil. I'm like, what? Like, but that's how neutral works. Like, the concept was that their whole discussion was like, I was killing anything that pinged to me that was evil. That was what the character was built as. Like, that's how the character figured its life. You know, if it sensed evil, it killed evil. Not right away. Like, it was smart. Like, I wouldn't attack an evil creature in the middle of town. That would be stupid. I would wait till the evil creature was, person, was away from everybody else and then fucking slaughter them. Now, you can think of whatever you want to with that. Like, that's, fucked up or whatever. But the concept behind the character was like, how I understood evil was you had to have done something fucking awful to become evil. So if you had done something awful to become evil, well, you were evil. Like, and like, they're like, well, maybe he was on like the road of redemption. I'm like, mostly because of the fact that that's not how it works in D&D. Usually, like you don't really find a character who's like, you don't find NPCs who are like, I was evil once and now I'm coming back. You don't really see that often. So, but that's where the huge issue came from there. And then I was, then we had discussion of what would make you turn evil. And that was not getting answered. And it's like a bunch of things that never really got answered for that one. But nonetheless, because of the concept that I don't think I just think it's like one of those things where it's like in D&D, like if you're quote unquote evil, then it's supposed to, like, as far as I understood, again, maybe I do understand it wrong, but as far as I understood, it means that you are actually an evil person. Where neutral is where, like, fucking everything should lie. Like, unless you're actually good. But like super good. But if like you do a couple things bad, a couple things good, then you're more neutral. But I think it's just the fact that as time progressed, everyone was just like, fuck it, if it's evil, it's evil. But it's also like the fact that like I had campaigns where I'm like, I'm gonna talk to the goblins and like try to befriend the goblins. Different campaign, of course, and people are like, but they're mindless little pieces of shit. Let's just slaughter them all. I'm like, fuck, man, this is harsh. Like, I had a character, Dragonborn, who ran around finding kobolds. And she would recruit any kobold. I think it was a she. It could have been a he. But anyway, recruit any kobold that they came across. They would, like, literally, if the kobold was on the opposite side, they would literally keep the kobold alive. They would slaughter everybody else and let the kobold even attack them. Just so at the end they could be like, so Mr. Kobold, do you want to be friends? Yeah. But I would like redeem them and like actually, I think it was a paladin too. But nonetheless, this is a 33-minute podcast or 34-minute podcast, so I'm going to let you guys go. I'll stop my ranting. But yeah, so until next time, my horde. I don't know.